is the painting that we're making today. Okay, I'm making it on A5 size sheet. If you're using a bigger sheet of paper, you can just make it a little larger to scale. That's all about it. Or you can just cut your paper in half and use that. Okay. I have 2 sheets of paper with me. One is a rough practice sheet. I've already used one side and just use the other side to practice. Where we just practice making. This is a different style of roses from what we've made the last time. It's much more looser, I'd say. It looks equally pretty. So we'll try that. We actually use this. It's like roses, peonies. Those we can make with this kind of thing also. Practice sheet. Another sheet for our final project, which again is colors. Now, as I said, I'm using the Brewster palette, and I have used 2 colors for this. One is C13, the pink right on top. And the second one was this red, which I'm assuming is the C10, I guess. Yeah, I think that's the C11. I think that's a C11. So those are the only 2 colors I'm using in the reds and pinks. For the greens, I mixed 2 colors. One I used, it's hard to read this. I'll start from the bottom. C24, I'm assuming is what I use. Either C24 or C23. I'll do a swatch first and let you all know when you're actually coloring. And one I use the slightly cooler green color, which is this one over here, which is C28, I'm assuming. So these are the colors I've been using. And apart from this, I have some gold metallic watercolor, which I'll be using for the gold heart. If you don't have this, you can either skip making the heart. You can make the heart with a black pen. If you have a metallic marker or a pen, you can use that also. But again, that's optional. I think it's really pretty with the heart. So that's just something if you want to do, you can do. You can also skip the heart. You can make different shapes also. You can make a triangle in the background if you want. You can make a small diamond if you want. You can make a square. It's just, I think it just adds a little extra little touch to it. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Can you tell when we start the final project so that I can take the fair 300 chairs in paper?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Can you tell when we start the final project so that I can take the 300 chairs in paper now?
We'll first do the practice session, and once everyone is okay with it, then we'll move on to the final one. I will definitely mention when we're doing the final project. To work for golden, absolutely not a problem because we're just using it to make a simple border. You can use acrylic for that also. Okay. All right. Paper, as I said, A5 size paper. I am actually using this. This is a stationary heavy cartridge paper that I'm using, but this is very, very similar to a hot press watercolor paper. 300 GSM, so it has a good thickness also. So it works fine for these kind of light florals. And as I said, I've got one rough sheet to practice the florals on also. Brushes, I'm using 2 brushes as usual. This is a stationary mop brush. I really like using these mop brushes for the florals. It really helps with this entire effect of spreading the color. I think a mop brush works wonderfully for that. So I'm using a size 2 mop brush for stationery. You could use a larger one also, but you might have a little bit of difficulty in controlling it. So if you have a mop brush, and you can use that. Otherwise, any other brush, any round brush will be fine. And I'm using a size 4 normal round brush for the leaves and the stalks and all, basically because it has a pointed. One a little broader brush, a broader round brush, and one is with a fine tip. That's basically, you don't have to have exactly the same as I'm doing. Just one wider brush and one fine brush for the stalks, etc. is what you need. Apart from this, as usual, 2 jars of water. I know my jars look pretty grummy, but water is clean. It's just that I've been too lazy to actually clean out my jars. They were nice and transparent and clean at one point of time, not very long ago. And my usual tissue, always good to keep at hand. Okay, so we can get started. In case, of course, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat while we're talking. I'll be keeping an eye on that, and I will try to answer your questions as best as possible. Okay, so we'll start with our rough sheet first. I'll just move the main sheet aside. We'll start by first practicing the main flowers. Then we'll do these little buds, which is basically blobs I've put over there. Really have any technique. Some leaf. And if you see the larger leaf, I've actually used something called a technique called lifting, in which you actually paint in your full leaf and then you lift the color off to get that central vein. So that's also something we will work on. Okay. So let's get started. Prashant, what are you eating? You're making me, I'm getting FOMO now. I mean, you're sitting and eating over there while I'm doing this. Not nice.
Apologies.
Okay, guys, so we'll get started now. Just a second. Just getting the wire out of the way. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'll just use maybe I'll use a pink for the practice session. So it's almost the same technique as what we've been doing in the last two floral illustrations. I'll start with the pink because I really love this pink color. Take a nice generous amount of pink on your brush. Okay, and keep it concentrated, but it should have an ample amount of water also. Don't make it too watery. You want your pigment nice and dark. And then what you'll do is, like how you had made the previous roses, but it is much more structured, right? So over here, actually just do some random dab like this, slightly overlapping. Just randomly like that. I think I'll zoom in a little for this. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll take my other brush, the broader brush, dip it in clean water. And from the side over here, I'll actually just go over this very slightly. And then with the paint which is already there on my brush, I just pull it outwards like this. And then I'll come from this side over here and I'll go over this also. But I won't go over the entire thing. And this side is much narrower as compared to this side. You can just put some petals on like that. Okay. And if you can see, I've actually left a couple of white pieces in between over there. So this is your basic technique for painting this style of roses. And if you want to mix colors, which I really love doing, you can take another brush with, for this example, I'm taking the same orange color which we spoke of, and I'll just drop some orange here and there. Just a little bit here and there. And I'll let the water do its thing and just let it spread on its own. This is your absolute basic of making a rose like this. Try one. Okay.
Ma'am, can you teach it again?
Yes, I'm just showing you a second time. So you start by making these little, oh, it doesn't have enough pigment. You start by making these little dashes, sort of in concentric circles, but it's a little elongated. It's not a circle, it's more of an oval. Okay, you can let the dabs go over each other a little bit also. Something like that. Then you switch to your brush which has clean water on it, which is your brush. And on one side, I'll turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. Again, start with the tip of the brush touching that. And just very, very gently color that part in. And while using the same brush with the same amount of water, you just bring out these petals like that. You can add one at the bottom over here also. And once that's done, I'm going to rinse my brush once just quickly. And actually very, very lightly go over this over here also. I'm not going to rub it in because I want a little bit of these lines showing through. So I'll do that and I'll just maybe add one more on top over there like that. You can just, so you need a little bit of that white still showing through. But this is the basic technique of your making your these roses. Okay, you can, to make it bigger, all you have to do is just literally come in and I'd suggest use whatever paint is still there on your brush only. Don't add any more paint. So you can just come in these slightly overlapping arches, you can use that to make yours bigger. But if you make it too big like this, then it could start looking a little artificial. So don't make it that big. If you want a big one, then you start with a bigger circle in the meantime. I think we'll do one more and then we can try the other one. I'll try my red now.
आपला लेक्चर मिस झाला.
Okay. So again, I'll just make a couple of these, not a couple, definitely more than a couple. Slightly U, these dashes. I'll come in with my brush. Tip first and go over about halfway of it. And then again, bring it outwards. And then come from on top also slightly. So I'm only using the paint which is already there on my brush. I'm not using any additional paint. And that's basically how you do it. And if you want, this has a lot of pigment, by the way, this brush. I'm just going to add a little bit of orange here and there. And I'm also going to do one more thing. This should be interesting. So since this one has a lot of pigment as compared to the others, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my brush in clean water. And I'm just going to add like a drop or so over here. And I'll let that water just, so see, I have a lot of water now, right? So I'll just let that move around on its own and dry on its own. So with making loose florals like this, if you have a lot of water on your page, that works really, really well. The only thing over there, then of course you have to be careful with is that you don't tilt your page and the water doesn't, spill off. But if, as it is, if you let this dry like this, you will get some really, really good results. Okay. So this is the absolute basic of the painting. I'll maybe try one slightly bigger. And maybe I'll try one facing this side because that's what we're doing over there in the painting also. Okay. So again, just some lines like this. This doesn't have enough color in it. So I'm just adding some more. So whichever side is going to face outwards, you'll do that second. You'll do the other side first. If this is facing outwards of mine, I'll start with this side and I'll make this a nice broad sweep. So the petals also, when we make them, the petals face outwards. And this side, when we do it, we won't go very broad. We'll just keep it quite narrow. And then if you want, you can come in and add some more petals like that. And if you want again, you can just dab in another color. I really like this pink reddish orangish combination, as you may have noticed. And I'll just make that blend in a little bit. If your first layer has dried out, then this blending won't work. Then you'll have to put a layer of water on top so that the page is wet again and then do the blending. So you can see over here, this water is moving around. I shouldn't be moving it around. I just want to show you guys. A lot of fun moving it around. It reminds me of all those jigsaw puzzles. You know, those little games you had when you're small, with the water and those little like basketball thingies that you had to move it around in the water so the balls would fit in the maze. That looks nice. I can't see the name of whose video is on. I can see some purple flowers. I can see Nish's one. I can see another one with purple flowers. Okay, fine. name of who's that is, but that also looks pretty. I like the purple color. Purple has my heart. Nish, yours also is looking pretty. So this is the basic of the main flowers that we're going to be making, which are these. Right? So you can see I've done the same thing. Start with that concentrated color in the middle, leave a few white gaps. Don't remember to leave a few white gaps. If you don't leave those white gaps, then it will just look like one blob and you won't, it won't look that natural, look quite stiff. Okay. We'll practice these now, which are super easy. These are actually somewhat similar to what we've done in previous classes, where you just make one slight U. You take your brush with clean water.
Can you see mine?
Check.
Can you see in mine too?
I can see Disha. Yeah, but you might not want to lift up your page because your paint is going to trickle off, Disha. Your
Okay.
page will put your page down again, but otherwise it seems good.
Okay.
I can see one more page with some pink flowers. That looks nice also. You can try putting a little, leave a little white, more white in the middle. You could try doing that. Okay. And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I can see Amrita, yours is also looking nice. Yeah, I can see yours. Okay. Vinny, yes, that's yours, the purple one. That looks nice.
Me
Uh,
also.
I can see actually yours is looking lovely, but then again, you always make lovely florals. Umang, yours I can see. Who else can I see? Amrita, I can see. Harshita. Harshita, yours, you might want to put a little more water. It's looking a little dry when you're doing it. Lorenzo, yours is nice. I like the pastel colors that you're using. Shivangi. Okay.
Anjali here.
Hi, Anjali. I don't need to tell you about the flowers. Your flowers are always pretty.
Thanks, dear.
Harshita, I was telling you that you might want to add a little more water to yours. It looks a little dry. So your strokes are coming like
Okay,
this.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll just get back to this. This mine has dried out a little bit. So basically, it's the same technique we've used for that, which is basically you make that C and you just bring out these little like smaller petals. That's all I've done for these round little bud thingies. Make it slightly rounded and on the sides and maybe one on the top or something, just take out a couple of these dashes. All right. I'll make one more. You can actually literally make a circle like that also. I mean, that's hardly a circle, but you get the meaning of what I'm saying. And then rub that over with your clean brush so it spreads out a little. And from there, take out a couple of. So just remember that when you're making these buds and all, whichever direction you want the petals facing in, the flower facing in, take your petals out in that direction. So if I want it facing this side, I won't do this. That just looks weird. It looks like an angry bird with the beak open or something like that. Right? So if you want it facing in that direction, just keep your petals all facing in one direction. You can bring it out a little like this on the sides, but don't have it going in two opposite directions. Okay? Now it actually looks like a dragon fruit. There is not here this time. We actually have a dragon fruit over here with us. Okay? So that's the basic practice for the flowers. We can now move to the leaves. All right? So I'll just rinse my brush out thoroughly. For the smaller leaves, these ones, I'm going to be using my mop brush because it gives these nice, slightly rough edges. I don't want them very, very structured. You can see it has quite rough, slightly uneven edges, which is what I like about this. So that I'll be using my mop brush for that. But again, you can use any wide rim brush for this also. Okay. I'm taking a green so I can show you what I'm doing. All I've done with this is with my mop brush, added some green color, and then just very roughly pressed it down. And if I feel it's too narrow, then I've come and widened it a bit. Okay, so I make my leaves and then I make my stalks. I don't make the stalks first. Okay, so you do that. And then what I did is
I can use sap green.
yes, sap green is perfect for this. And then what I did is I took another darker green and just at the base of it, you can see how much water is there in my leaf, right? It's a good amount of water. If I have to pick up my page just now, it will trickle off. So the thing is to let this paint dry naturally, and that's when it will have these nice, bloom effects, which watercolor loose florals are basically meant for. Okay. So what I usually do is I make these leaves exactly like this. And then once it's dry, I actually just come in and actually you can do it while it's wet also. You can see how immediately the color spreads in. You can do that. So I always start by making my leaves and then adding the stalks. Now, when you're making your leaves, you can do it in two ways. Either you can do it like this, where they're like one, then one, then one, or you can do it coming out on both sides of the stalk, which by that I mean one on this side, one on this side. Okay, so you can either make it like this, that on the same, coming into the same stalk at the same point, or you can do it alternated. By alternated, I mean you make one on this side and one slightly lower on this side. So both of them don't meet the stalk at the same time. So say if this meets the stalk here, this meets it here. So these are two ways of adding leaves to your stalks. One is side by side and one is alternating. Then the next one would come lower over here in this one. Okay, I'll quickly make the leaves once more. Again, I don't know if you I have splashed paint on the camera. That's the reason I need to keep tissue handy. Every time I say this, I swear I do something and I give people a live demonstration of why tissue is needed, because I am something. Okay. All right. Lift my camera up a bit. Yeah, and I'll show you the leaves once more. So I've just taken my mop brush. Make sure your brush has a nice amount of water on it. You don't want your brush dry for this, okay? So you dip it in water and like if you see over here on my palette, when I do that, you can see the amount of water that's in there, right? So it's got a good deal of water on it, my brush. And I literally just one, dab it down, two, and again, you can either make it side by side or you can make it alternating. And if I feel like something is too narrow, I just widen it out a bit by just adding a little more. But again, you can see I have a lot of paint and a lot of water. You see how it's like almost, like a bubble, like a dome. And then if you want, you take a little bit of another green, any other green, and then just dab it at the base. So it's slightly two-toned. Again, this is optional. You don't have to do it. I think I like it. And then you can actually come in and just make your stalk. Like that. All your leaves don't have to have stalks. You can see like over here, if I made stalks for these, this is directly to the leaf also. So you can just alternate between those. And there you go. Another example of me dropping things. You can also, just to vary things a bit, you can actually add two leaves side by side like that also. Again, this is just something to change things up. So if you've seen other of my classes also, you need to add variety in the angles and shapes and directions of your leaves and petals. You do not want your leaves and petals and all and flowers all looking exactly the same or in the same direction. Mishti, yours is looking nice. Akshata, I like your leaves.
Thank you.
And for the next, which is basically one more leaf, which is there, I'll just do it a different color so you can see the difference. Okay. I come in and make a very, very basic leaf, which is just like how we do it with this little pointed tip. And the trick is to let it dry. Okay. So when I'm making these leaves, I usually make one and then I'll make another one slightly either touching it or just beside it, a little lower on different ones. So say this is my flower. I usually make one leaf here. You can make it slightly pointed on the top, but otherwise quite rounded. And maybe another smaller leaf, like a pair of leaves. Yeah, something like that. Also be careful about this. Like you can see the color is bleeding over here for me because my red was still wet. Now, if it's slightly damp like how my page is, then it won't spread too much and that's fine. It doesn't look bad when the green, moves into your colors a little bit. That's looking nice, Vinny. I love the purple color, right? But if you have too much water on both sides, this paint, this little pool of paint over here will spread into your entire area and then you'll just have a muddy looking floral. So just be a little careful about that. And for these leaves now, you actually have to let it dry completely. So I think we can do that once, we can let this dry out. And while this is drying out, we can start on the main session. Oh, and one more thing, since you already have green, I've got some green on my fine brush over here. These little small ones, I take my green and, okay, that's still wet. That's an error. This is dry. I just make a couple of dots in between like that. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. I didn't realize the middle was still wet. This is dry. That's how I've done it. You can actually add these little green things. You can add little yellow dots also. Yellow, but it won't show up very well. Maybe try a green or a brown. You could try a green or a brown also. Ashika, your colors are looking nice. Only for your flowers, I feel that maybe your brush doesn't have enough water on it. So that's why you're
Yes,
getting,
ma'am.
yeah. So maybe when you practice like your other smaller flower also, your if you see these, you've made them very long for the buds.
Okay, ma'am.
So don't
Okay,
make,
ma'am.
if it's a small flower, then keep these little things coming out also, that is coming out smaller also.
Okay, ma'am.
Taruna,
Thank
I like
you,
your
ma'am.
colors, but don't lift it up, your green is flowing into your color. Guys, don't lift it up just now. I'm sorry, I don't want your painting getting spoiled. I like your colors, really nice. They're all looking pretty, but guys, please don't.
Your audio is going away from the mic.
Sorry. Please don't lift it up just now. I don't want your paintings getting spoiled. We'll do a nice round of pictures and I'll take a look at all of them later. I just don't want to make it getting spoiled right now. Okay.
Excuse me.
So these are the basic techniques that we're using. And one more thing you would have noticed is these little, I'm not sure what to call them, little pips, berries, whatever they are. So for that, I just draw a simple line like that, slightly curved.
Can you see mine?
Kashi, is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. And then you just make small stems like that. And add these little dollops of little balls. I'm not sure what you want to call them. At the end of them and one in the middle over here. So this is just an extra element. It's like a filler. Okay. I think Mishti's already made her painting. Her practice session looks like a final piece. Okay. So even practicing this is again what I was talking about, Brewster colors. I know I'm talking too much about it, but I mean, even a practice piece like this is looking so pretty just because of the lovely colors that are on my page. And now I have a very pretty practice sheet with lovely colors on both sides. So if you're done with the practice, I think we are already halfway through our time also. We will get started on the main one. Okay. So before we get started on the main one, please rinse your brushes properly. Okay. And I'll just bring this over here so I can show you the composition. By composition, I mean the layout of what is going where. So again, I have mentioned in the previous classes also, but for anyone new who's joined in, when you're planning a painting or a floral like this, you first plan where your biggest elements are going to come. Okay. So
Hello,
in
ma'am.
this case, which is
Ma'am,
these
how
three-
are you getting double tone?
Sorry.
Ma'am, how are you getting two tone?
Two tones. That's because over here the paint was concentrated and over here I put the water. Right? And for
Okay.
the leaves,
Yes.
sorry, if you're talking about the leaves for two tone, then I put one color and then just at the base, I added a drop, just a little dollop of the other green color. So that's how I got it two tones.
Okay, ma'am.
Over here also. Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
as I was
Thank you,
saying,
ma'am.
you start by first placing your three major elements. For this particular painting, I'm making three big peonies or roses, whatever we want to call them. 1, 2, 3. All three are facing in different directions. This is slightly to the left upwards. This is facing this side, and this is, of course, this side. Once I've done that, I add a couple of these little flowers, the smaller ones. That gives me my basic shape of my painting. Then I use leaves as fillers. Okay. Now, when you're making more delicate paintings, like if you remember from the poppies that we made, we actually first made the stalks and then we added the leaves because those are nice, long, thick, delicate stalks. But over here, we don't have really place for stems in this painting. So we will first make the leaves and then join the leaves with these little stalks. So it's an opposite thing that we're doing. And wherever we feel it's looking a little empty, we'll just come in and add these little berries also. Okay, so that's how we're planning our painting. And I actually came in and made the golden heart right at the end of it. So don't worry about that. All right, so before we start with
Susan, I joined the class a little late. So for your first big flower, can you just maybe try to go a little slower?
okay, sure, definitely, no
Yes,
problem.
thank you.
All right, and since we are at our halfway mark, I just wanted to let you guys know that I do have a watercolor course on my site. It starts from 5th of June and we only take 10-11 people in that, and I have 2 slots left right now. So in case anyone is interested, and only for the people coming on this session, I have one code, one coupon available for a 10% discount on the cost. The cost fee is 2499 for 6 classes, but I have one coupon available for 10% discount on that. So in case anyone is interested, you can actually 2 coupons. I have 2 seats available, so I'll make it 2 coupons. I'll give you 2 coupons.
We have one. Anybody else interested will need to reach out. We have one right now.
What are you covering in that?
It's basically watercolor for beginners, so basic techniques and all. Prashant, you've already put the, can you put the link on the thing, please? Chat. So you can take a look at that. And of course, it will be a first come, first serve. So whoever claims and makes the payment first gets the coupons. So there'll be one coupon available, as Prashant corrected me, for a 10% discount on that. And Prashant will just share the link of the course itself on the chat also. You can take a look at it in case anyone is interested. But again, this coupon is only valid for today and valid for people who are on this class. We're almost sold out. This is just something, even last week I had given a coupon, so I just thought I'll just give something special in case anyone is interested for today's session.
What time would the classes be conducted?
I'm sorry?
What time would the classes be conducted?
The classes would be conducted on Saturday, Sundays, 6:30 p.m. for an hour. Each class is 1 hour. So you can take a look. All the details are going to be there in the link on the chat. We'll just share that. And yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that coupon will be available today, for today only, for anyone who's interested. And now we can get back to our session. And Prashant, of course, whenever you're free, you can please put that link on for the course.
Is it not visible? Because I've been like putting it up. I put it twice.
Put it to me privately. Can you check?
No, it's there for everybody, I suppose. Okay. Can anybody else see that?
Has
Yes,
anyone?
it is visible.
I can see it.
Visible.
Okay, awesome.
And
That's
Shivani, I think you had a question, right? This is the second batch of the watercolor boot camp.
Yes. We
So
will
Shivani is a part of the first batch.
Yeah, so the content will be very different from what we've already covered, is it?
No. It's the exact same batch again.
Oh,
This is
okay.
for
Okay.
second
The
batch,
intermediate batch will come separately towards the end.
All
of
right. Perfect. Perfect. All right.
yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll get started with the main flower painting just now. Yay, always excites me. So we'll start by painting our first 3 major flowers. And guys, that's the reason you need 2 jars of water, because my 1 jar is already muddy with rinsing my brushes out. I can't stress this enough. It just pains me when you have a nice bright painting and then you use dirty water and it all gets murky. One of my pet peeves. So we'll start with this. Again, you can use any colors that you like. I'm just going with the same colors because I think this turned out to be a really, really pretty color combination. So if you're using a Brewster palette like me, then I'm going to start first with C11, I guess this would be. Okay. Here, the second one over here, C11, I'm guessing. Okay. I'm taking paint on my brush. Now, while it's still quite pigmented, there's also enough water on it so it doesn't dry out immediately on my page. So again, I'm like, the center of the page is mostly where I'm planning my paintings, and I'm going to start with the one on the bottom left
Should we
corner of the triangle.
first, as we are making it a red?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Should we make the heart first, the normal pencil sketch?
You can do that also. I just made it was an afterthought, honestly, when I did it. But if you do the heart first, I think that might influence where you place your stuff also. So if you're okay with that, you can make your heart with the pencil and then after that go over it with the paint once you're, once you have your flowers ready. This brush size is actually a size 4 round, but it has quite a fine tip. So anything with a fine tip should be fine. Okay. So again, I'm making it so that triangle we spoke of the flowers, I'm making this one first. So it's slightly to the left and bottom of the center of the page. So I'm just repeating the process that we used for the practice also, where you make these dashes in sort of an oval shape, slightly overlapping. Okay. You can join some of them together. They don't all have to be completely separate. Then I switch to my broader brush with clean water. I'm just going to turn it around so it's easier for me to show you guys what I'm doing. And as I mentioned, since this is facing this side, I'll start on this side first and give it a broader sweep. By that I mean I'll brush around halfway through this. Okay, I'll first just go over it once, like that. And then I'll take out these petals with the paint that has got transferred to my brush. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I would like to know if the course videos also would be available.
For anyone who's signing up for it, you will have access to the recordings of each session. The sessions are live. So once the sessions are over, the recordings of the sessions will be available to anyone who signed up for it for lifetime.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And then again, on this side also, I'll do the same thing with the brush, but I'll keep it a little narrow. I'm not bringing it out as much as I did it on this side. So my little white gaps are not in the center, but a little off center facing this side. So that makes it look like your flower is facing this side. Okay. And if you feel it's looking a little off balance, with the same paint on your brush only, don't add any more color. You can just extend your petals a little bit. Try to keep them slightly rounded. Don't take them out like that, right? Because then that starts looking unnatural. My painting is looking a little unnatural now, so I need to do some damage control. Yeah, I think that should be fine. So that's my first flower. And I'm going to take C8, which is an orange color. Just a teeny weeny bit of it. And then just dab it in certain places in that. So this is how you get your two-tone color. I mean, you have two-tone directly with this also because your paint is just mixing with the water, and some places it will be lighter, some places it will be darker. But if you want a proper two-tone, then you can add like a nice complementary color like this orange to it. And then just if your paper is drying out, just slightly blend it with your clean brush. I mean, it's not clean anymore with the amount of water of paint it's got on it, but you get the drift. Okay, and I'll just let this dry like that. Now I'll make my second paint, second flower. I'll make it the opposite one, this corner of the triangle, but I'm not going to make it exactly in line. I'll make it slightly higher. So there's no symmetry in nature. There is no 100% symmetry in nature. Okay, you have spectral swirls. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. But you don't have anything which is 100% symmetrical. So that's why I like to keep my composition slightly off center. I think that looks a little more natural in composition. So I am using a C13 for this if you're using a Brewster palette. Okay, so the same thing, but the oval, how I had made it over here, I'm going to just tilt it a little down this side. I'll tell you what I mean. My oval is going to be, this basically bunch of like
Ma'am,
curves.
this flower doesn't look like rose.
It's a loose floral. It can be a rose, it can be a peony, or up to you, depending on the shape of your petals. You can do it's a wild rose or a peony. You can decide on that, whatever you'd like it to be.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
I have a separate session on actual roses also, which was a previous class. If you want, we can share the recording with you. You can send us a message after this. This is more of a loose floral, a little abstract. It's not exactly any specific flower. It's kind of a mix of peonies and roses. So doing that, now since this is going to be my outer section, I'll start with this side and give it a nice broad sweep with my brush. Okay. And take these petals out. And then on this side also, very softly, I'll merge the colors. And if you feel it's looking a little off center, then just add these slight petals to it, like that. Just remember to leave a little bit of white in between, which denotes the petals, you know, the little negative space between the petals. And with that done, I have one more flower to make. Actually, this is a little small compared to the other one. So I'm just going to add a little color and actually extend this. I'll make it a little bigger. I feel it's too small for as compared to this one. Yeah, I think that should do it. So you can see I've just used clean water with a little bit of pink to just extend this. And now I'll make a third flower, which is the one which is the top of the triangle. Again, I'm not making it directly in the center. I'll make it a little to the side over here. Same process. Just when you're making these, just remember if it's facing this way, then you need to have enough space in between the flowers over here to make it. Yeah. Akshata, looking nice. Also, guys, if you're making these for the first time and it doesn't look exactly like mine, please know it's just a function of practice. It has taken me practicing this for years also to be able to do this in one go like this, or to try and teach it to you. It's all about practice. If you're coming into a session and looking at it, and especially if you're a beginner and you're thinking, why is mine not looking like that? Don't get disheartened. It takes practice. It's not going to come 100% the same, in the first go. It does need practice. So again, I'm just going to do the same thing over here. Bring it out a little. I think I'll actually add some orange to this mix so both my flowers don't look the same. And I'm extending it also so that the size is corresponding with the others. Okay, I think that's quite light. I want a little more color to it. So I'm just dropping some color here and there and I'll blend it out. And since I said I wanted some change in color, I'm going to add a little bit of orange to this also, just in a couple of places. Otherwise, I think it would be too much pink going on here. I'm just blending it slightly. So I have my 3 roses in place. I still feel this is a little light, so I'm actually going to come in and add a little more color. I just feel it's looking quite light. So since I have a lot of water on my page, I'm just moving it around. Just adding some dollops of paint. I think that's better. And that's how I've got my 3 paintings, the 3 florals in place now. Okay. Now quickly moving to the next part, which is adding those little buds. Now that you have an idea of where your main florals are, we start adding our buds. Okay, so you can use any of the colors that we've spoken of just now and make them like fillers. So I'm going to make like 1, 2, 3 blobs over here for my buds, and then switch to my brush with clean water and then literally just go over it. Again, I'm not very worried about not getting a perfect circle. I'm just slightly going over it. And like what we did in the practice session, if you want, you can take out a couple of petals like that. Otherwise, it's quite abstractish. You don't have to necessarily do that. Where else? I think I'll add one over here in this corner. So again, just with the concentrated paint, first made 1 blob, going over it with my clean-ish brush. And if you want, take out some slight petals. Here too, if you want, you can just add another dollop of slight little orange or something if you just want to mix up the colors. It doesn't have to be the same color. You can make it two-toned also. Okay. I'm feeling like this part is a little empty of mine. I've left too much of a gap. So I'm actually going to come and make some buds over here. Okay, so maybe I'll make 1 bud here and 1 bud there. You can see very, very rough the shapes are. I'm not concentrating too much on the exact shape of that. The whole point here is to have a nice, slightly abstractish, loose color. Loose shape rather, not color, sorry. Okay, so now that I have my basics in place, now it's the time to come in with the leaves. All right. So first step, of course, is to rinse my brushes completely. I'll start on the leaves with my wider brush only. I'm using my, the green color I'm using in this is, just give me a second, C25, the last one in the row over here, in case anyone's using a Brewster palette. Okay, so this is quite a strong yellowish tone to it, which I like. This is for the smaller set of leaves that I'm making. Okay, so again, I'll just make a spray of them over here like we did. Just dab 1, dab 2, dab 3, dab 4, and then slightly round them off slightly. Maybe I'll make one here, so it looks like it's coming out behind the leaves, the flower. Again, I'll make one spray coming out here. Dab 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll make one small one over here. And maybe I'll make just a few over here. 1. Now, if your flower is still wet, you might want to be a little careful that it doesn't touch it. Make this a smaller one. And like we did the previous time, I'll switch colors. I'll use a C24, I guess. And then just dab a little bit just at the base. Again, you don't necessarily need to do this. It's just a little extra. And then just let it spread on its own. You don't have to worry about it. And now again, with the fine brush, with the thinner brush, you just join it. So I'm just coming like that. Here too, I'll just, that turned a bit too sharp for me. Here also. Okay. I'll join these buds also with stalks. This one too. I'm keeping them nice and thin and very slightly curved, like gently curved, these stalks. For these, it's a little tricky. How do I do it? Maybe I'll do it like it's drooping over. So I'll do like that and this joining in like that. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. And yeah, now I'm going to add my filler leaves. So again, you can just switch your green color to any other green color that you want. Okay. Again, I'm using the same big brush that I have. And now I'm just using literally for fillers, right? So I'm just going to decide where I want my leaves. So I want one here. Just be careful when you're doing that. I have a lot of paint and water on my brush. Maybe I'll make one here coming out from, and there you go. It's okay. It's not that bad, the damage. I think that can work. Like that. And maybe a smaller leaf coming out from here. Okay. Make one leaf here. Nice big one. Again, as I said, be careful if your painting is still wet. I don't mind this light green spreading in, but not everybody likes that. It could look muddy. So you can just be a little careful of that. Making one here to cover up the base of that stalk. Maybe one here too. I'm slightly overlapping on the rows also. Okay, this is looking a little empty. I'll take out one over here. It doesn't have to be in pairs. You can keep a single leaf also. And you can vary the shape, the size, like I've made a smaller one over here. All right. Again, I'll make one coming out from behind over here. This maybe I'll make like a pair. Okay. So now basically, once you've got your basic this in place, then it's all about seeing what do you think needs, if any place is looking unbalanced, or if one place looks like it has more, elements than the other side, then you just add on your leaves over there just so that it looks a little more balanced. Okay, so I think this is sort of good to go. I need to wait for these buds to dry of mine to add those little dashes that I said, like that. That's the only one that's dry of mine. These are still wet. I'll let that dry. Okay, so you can see over here my green is gone in, but I don't mind it. I think it'll look nice once it dries out. So I'm going to let that be as it is. Or if it irks you too much, you can take a tissue if this happens to you and very slightly, just very lightly, just dab at it, very lightly. So that does some amount of damage control. Okay, just give me a second. I'm just checking the chat. This is a mop brush that I'm using. This one, a size 2 mop brush from Stationery. And the fine one I'm using is a size 0 fine brush from Stationery. Okay. Now, again, one more element that you can add is those berry sticks. So I'm not going to add too many. I'm just going to literally add 2 of them. One coming out from here and one coming from here. Like it's almost diagonal. So again, thin line. Okay, guys, so someone has already claimed the discount coupon that we have got. So in case anyone else is interested in the course, we have 1 more seat still available. You can just send me a DM on Insta, or you have my number. You can just reach out to me in a private message after the session and we can discuss it. But the coupon for the second last seat, the 10% off, is sold out. Thank you. A mop brush is basically different from a round brush. The shape is almost the same, but it holds a lot more water. It has a lot more bristles in it, softer bristles, and it holds a lot more water. It's specifically made for watercolors, and it's used for like loose washes and backgrounds and all. So the brushes, I find that the hairs are a little coarser, but it actually holds a lot more water on the brush as compared to a normal one. So that's the basic difference in a mop brush. That's the reason it's called a mop brush, you know, like it's like a mop, it mops up the water. So that's one of the major defining characters of a mop brush. And I'll bring out the second one here. This brush of mine is a little dry. I think I've got too much pigment on it. I'm just making these so it looks like it's coming out from behind the little butt. So our painting is almost done.